often get asked, Jeff, what mods do you use in LSPDFR? I'm here to answer that question for you once and for all. Now, modding GTA 5 with LSPDFR is a long road and you have to be very patient. There are a ton of configurations out there and ways to do it. So let's jump into this. You can see I have 3 different versions of Grand Theft Auto 5 installed. I have this one that I'm using for LSPDFR, a 5M version, and a vanilla version. If I go into here, that's normally LSPDFR when I'm updating the game. This is where I do all of my stuff with LSPDFR. So let's start at the top, and you can see we have ELS. That's how we get the emergency lighting system. And I'm using Theros statewide pack, so these are all set up for that. If we move down to our LSPDFR folder, you'll see I have audio, cares, data, keys, INI. You can change all of this stuff. The LSPDFR INI, this is what I use right here. If you want to take a screenshot or anything like that or pause the video, you surely can. In under audio and scanner, you'll see I have all of these different callouts that have been installed, and we'll go over what callouts I'm using. Grammar Police is what I'm using to do the talking to the dispatcher. And this is also where I have installed the Blue Line dispatch mod. We're not going to go into the mods folder just yet, but we're going to go into the plugins folder, and this is what I have installed as far as just baseline plugins. I've got Clear the Way 5, I've got EUP, menu there. I've got EUP to UB. I've got KTFDO, which is keep the door open, and the dinosaur spotlight.dll. Let's go into the LSPDFR folder, and this is everything that I am running. I've got 686 callouts. I've got Blue Line Scanner from Blue Line Modifications, callout interface, common data framework. That's all just normal stuff there. CompuLite, Grammar Police, NPCI. That is the one that you saw me talking to the AI in. I'm also running NPCI Gemini prompts.txt and some other things here that were recommended by Blue Line since he's had a lot of time with that mod more than me. I just used the ones off of his Patreon. We have Police Smart Radio, Riskier Traffic Stops, Stop the Ped, Tags Callouts, Ultimate Backup, United Callouts, and Vocal Dispatch. I'm also running ALPR Lite, Automatic Siren Cutout. This is the Blue Line Scanner. This is a paid mod on Blue Line Modifications Patreon. Everything will be linked in the description below. Callout Interface is a fantastic add-on. You hit F10, it pops out all of the callouts you have installed, and you can start them from that menu. Really helpful when you're a content creator. Common data framework stuff. This is stuff that came with other things that told me to install it. We're running Daryl callouts, Grammar Police. Once again, that is how you talk to dispatch. Highway callouts, Kuchera callouts. I talk about this one all the time. Move the f over. That's how you get the big rigs and the other AI vehicles to move out of your way when you're running code. Quan callouts. We got Radio Realism, FR, Speed Radar Lite, Super callouts, and Yabin callouts. For graphics, I'm using Raised Mods, Natural Vision, Evolved. I'm not using Enhanced. This is not the enhanced version of GTA 5. But this is how you get those beautiful looking graphics, and I'll show you later on all my settings for that. When it comes to all of the real vehicles you see out on the road, that is a mod by Central Mods. I use several Central Mods that are found on their Patreon page. This includes the Real Life Environment mod. That's how you get all the realistic looking logos and all that. Also use Lively World. This is on a Patreon page as well. It's a paid mod. But this is how I get that beautiful vegetation that really makes it immersive. Also on Patreon, this is where you can find Blue Line Vibes dispatch mod. If we open up Open 4, you can see right here under favorites, I have all of these set up for my game config. You must have a game config installed that is modified if you're gonna run a lot of custom vehicles. Otherwise, your game's gonna crash all the time. Police vehicles, weapons, all this stuff. This is a fast way to get to it. And all of this is explained in Jeffrey Gamer's tutorials. If we go into DLC packs all the way at the bottom, we can go to statewide here. And this is where you can find Theros statewide pack that I am using. If we go into vehicles RPF, here they all are. LSD 6, 7, Park 1, PBPD 2, you name it. And right here, you can see the vehicle, which is really, really helpful when you're changing out vehicles or testing things, but you're going to have to learn how to use Open4. I am also using Sky's FHP pack whenever you see me running the trooper vehicles that are FHP style. But if you want to know where I go to install police vehicles themselves, I use Patch Day 20NG. I don't use any other ones. I use this one. It seems to be the best spot, but I don't have anything installed in there right now because I'm using Theros State Pack, which is fantastic. And if we go down the list here, you'll see Advanced Hook 5. That is required by ELS, sadly. That's been kind of iffy lately. It's been causing crashes for me. Here's the Callout Interface API. A lot of stuff for Reshade and NVE. ELS is right here. Here's my ELS settings. They're pretty much right out of the box. GTA 5 1.0.3788. That's the latest version I'm on. Again, you're going to have to be running a heap adjuster ASI, a resource adjuster ASI as well. Don't mind the GTA 5 upscaler ASI. That is how I'm able to upscale using NVE. You can't use other anti-aliasing though. Here's the heap adjuster.asi, very important as well. A lot of these other files are all install files from LSPDFR itself, including Rage plugin hook. Here's my Reshade INI I am running. I change everything inside of the game. I don't go into this file, but if you want to go in and see if our stuff is close or you have an idea about something, you can pause the screen at any given time here, and hopefully that will help you. Script Hook 5, another one you always have to have. I'm using Simple HUD, and then I use the classic Trainer5.asi. Let's go ahead and force duty, and I'll show you everything that fires up here. BLK Highway callouts. So all of the callouts are starting to load right now. All of the Bejoljo mods have fired up fine. And now all the callouts will load in. Super plugins warning, new updates available. That's fine. So I have it set up to talk to dispatch by hitting the 0 key. 1 Bravo 27.
Receiving you clear, 1 Bravo 27. Go ahead.
Go fuck yourself.
Copy, 10-4.
There you go. All right, so that is what I use to talk to them. If I want to talk to an NPC, use an NPC AI. I have it set to the N key. Hey there, how you doing today?
Hey, hey. I'm all right, I guess.
Have you ever heard of LSPDFR? It's a police mod for Grand Theft Auto 5.
A mod? For what?
Okay, have a good day, bye. Yep. So,
yeah, you too, officer.
That's how I talk to them with the N key. Let's go into my settings over here, and I'll show you all of my graphics settings that I'm using. Starting with graphics here, we've got windowed borderless I play in, resolution of 1440p. All this stuff is pretty straightforward things. FXAA is off, MSAA is off. Like I said, I'm using an upscaler, so I can't use this stuff anyway. I do use VSync because I am trying to capture 60 frames hard for you guys. I have population density cranked, population variety cranked, distance scaling is maxed, texture quality of very high, shader quality very high, shadow quality at high, reflection quality at very high, reflection MSAA times 4, water quality at very high, particles quality very high, grass quality very high. This one can kill you a little bit, so if you are struggling, you can turn your grass quality down. Soft shadows on softest, and post FX on very high. Motion blur strength turned to 0. That shit looks terrible. In-game depth of field effects are turned off. Anisotropic filtering on times 16. Ambient occlusion set to high. Tessellation is at very high. Now if we go to advanced graphics, you can see we have long shadows on, high resolution shadows are on, high detail streaming while flying is off. I have extended distance scaling turned down because if I crank it up higher than this, that's when I start to lose frames. Frame scaling mode is off. Now if we hit insert, we can open up our NVE menu. And over here, starting on NVE, you can see in the clouds, I have those set up. They're pretty much just what you get out of the box with NVE. I haven't messed with that a whole lot, but if there are some difference in numbers there, that'll help you. Graphics-wise, I'm using volumetric fog enabled. All this stuff turned off. It's just a preference thing. Color preset 1. Motion blur settings are disabled. Brighter nights, I use that. Disable vehicle coronas is turned off. Enable vehicle interior fog is on. Shadow settings are set at medium there. I don't even have those like changed. Yeah, we're just using medium. And then dynamic headlight shadows are turned on. SSR, we have that set at 010. I'm pretty sure that's default. Now let's get to the good stuff here. Emissive lights, headlight intensity. I'm using it 9.977. Global car light multiplier set at 100. Here's our day multipliers. Headlights at 1.5. I've got taillights at 0.050. Indicators at 0.500. Reversing lights at 1.000. Default lights are set at 0.500. Brake lights are 0.050. Middle brake light 1.000. Extra lights 1.000. Siren lights 3.5. Doesn't really matter. It depends on the vehicle. So headlights at 0.2 there. Tail lights at 0.50. Indicators of 1. Reversing lights of 1. 7.5 for default. Brake lights at 0.050. And middle brake light at 1, extra lights at 1, and siren lights at 1 for night. We don't need anything with the weather, free cam, don't need anything there. Key bindings, this is all just basic stuff here. In the GTA 5 upscaler, I haven't changed anything really here, so this is what I'm using when it comes to DLSS and preset E. Under settings, all this stuff is just default. I didn't touch any of this. All right, now let's go to the home tab. I saved this one for last, but it is important. So we have cast.fx right here. These are the settings I'm using for those. D-band FX, using pretty much default. I didn't touch any of that stuff. Luma sharpen, sharpening strength. You can adjust this however you want. I don't even think I even touched that. NVE bloom settings are set right here. I'm just going to keep all of this here on the screen in case this is something that you care about. NVE color, I have it on default here, but if you come down here, I did make some changes to the bleach bypass. I'm running 0.137 on that. And then any of these other numbers, if they are different and you like how my game looks, I will keep this here so you can see it all. So all of this stuff right here at the bottom. NVE photo mode, I think all of this stuff is pretty default, yes. NVE vignette is all set default. NVE volumetric aurora, all that stuff is normal there. Volumetric clouds, I didn't touch any of this stuff. NVE glare.fx. If you get these big, massive looking artifacts on your lights, especially your emergency lights, this is where you can change that, and this is what I'm using. Using additive here, 100, 3, 82, 10. Glare size, 0.014. That's the important one. That's the one that's blown out all the time. Glare size exponent of 1, 4.5 for the fall off, and then the intensity is set at 0.100. Glare depth mask distance is at 20, and then lens -340. I think this is pretty default, but on glare, double check and make sure these are correct because, yeah, I don't want these things blown out for you. And then NVE rain, pretty much default stuff here. So not a tutorial, just showing you all of the mods that I'm using. Hopefully this gets you set in the right direction. It is a love-hate relationship setting up an LSPDFR install, and thank God there's people like Jeffrey Gamer out there to help us. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there answering those as best as I possibly can, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Oh, just in time for a script hook 5 error. To me.